What's up, guys? It's Dan. Sorry, I don't know what I'm looking for. Anyway, in this video, if you can read the title, I'm gonna be putting some winker mirrors on the van because it doesn't have any. I don't know why, but I've got a few gripes to go along with why it doesn't have winker mirrors and how they were designed. So, let me show you how one looks like. Ooh. Now they call it a winker mirror because this turn signal winks, you know, like so. Turn signal side mirror is just too long to say, so winker mirror is what I'll be using term-wise. Anyway, this is the winker mirror for the RL5 Odyssey. This only comes on the Touring and Elite models. Anything under that, no turn signal. I have an EXL which is just under Touring, so I don't have that. Which is kind of odd because turn signals on mirrors is pretty simple to do for the car manufacturers. I don't know why Honda decided to do that. Maybe it's to distinguish certain trim levels or whatever. I noticed that on some of the Hondas, but yeah, with the Odyssey, these are only on the Touring and Elite models. And that's one gripe. My second gripe, I'll show you right now. Here's the plug. I know what wires power the turn signal here. Let me show you how it looks. There it is. Now you notice something about this light. First of all, I should say that I didn't receive both mirrors at the same time. I actually received the driver's side first. This is the passenger side. And I lit up the turn signal, and yeah, as you can see, only the very end is lit. Now when I saw this, I thought the LEDs must have been damaged or out or something. I did order the driver's side mirror used or marked as used, so, and that did save me a lot. But I thought because of that, it had some damage. Visually, it looked just fine, but lights and stuff, LEDs, whatever, they can get damaged, and you don't know until you power it on. But as you can see, it's only the end there. Now, look at this picture. This is actually from Honda. It's a picture of the winker mirror with the light on. And as you can see, it's the same thing. It's just the end that's lit up. So when I saw that, I decided to take the mirror apart and take the light apart as well, take the lens off. And it turns out there are only 3 LEDs in this mirror, and they are right here, as you saw. You see how long this is? This is from the other mirror. Look at that. This is all they give. This is all they put in it. Goes like this or something like that. Or this way. It's in there like that. And that's all there is in this mirror, despite how freaking long this is. Why? Why do you do that? I mean, I understand when you look at other winker mirrors, they're just at the very tip, the very end, because that's where they need to be seen. But why design it like this? And you only light this up. You should design it small if you're gonna make only this light up, or if you're gonna make it this long, light the whole damn thing up, right? Here's another example. This is a 2015 to current Outback. These are the tail lights. It has tail lights on the rear corners and on the liftgate, but only the rear corners work. The red part on the liftgate doesn't do a damn thing. I mean, it's molded in terms of like its housing to look like it has LEDs, but there's nothing in there. So it's just dead space. Why do car companies do that? Before I got the Odyssey, I was actually in the market for an Outback, and if I did get my hands on one, I would have lit that part up. And I can do it pretty easy, knowing me working with LEDs. But anyway, there's nothing in here. The main board is in the middle, and then it's connected to, or these are connected to it. But yeah, why do they do that? So anyway, you know me working with LEDs. I'm gonna do something about this. I actually already did something about it with the driver's side since that came first. So let me show you a comparison of what Honda did, and then I'll show you what I did. So this is Honda's wonderful engineering. It's only at the tips. It looks like two, you can only see two there, but because there's two of them that are combined. So that's pretty much, this is pretty much the before. If I just threw them on the van. You can see on this, there are two LEDs on that one, and then one LED there. And let me show you the after. I have the driver's side here. It's taken apart. There's no mirror and no mounting bracket. Let me show you what I've done. See that? Pretty sick. Now what this is a flowing LED strip that I put on there. Link to that in the description below. I got it on eBay. Let me actually show you what the strip looks like. It's right here. Pretty simple unit. Let me just show you the strip itself and light it up. Oh, I know, Worky. There we go. That's pretty bright. As you can see, it flows pretty quick actually. When I tested it out, I thought it would be a bit slower, but it goes that way. So that would be pretty sick to see when I hit my turn signal. But if you live where I do, then there's no point in doing this type of thing because no one signals here. It's another graph I have, but that's for another time. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to take this mirror apart and ooh. Infinity. Ooh, trippy. Damn, what the hell? I'm going to take this apart and show you how I modified it to fit the LED strip that I just lost. The hell? Oh, is this it? Yeah. To fit this in there. Now, as you can see, first of all, this is shorter than this. I just pretty much centered it on here somewhat. Now, at first I was gonna make my own LEDs for this, which I actually did, and it's right here. This is my own LED strip. It spans the whole length of this, and it would have worked just fine. You know, just standard blinking. But I had to step it up and get these. So let's bust this thing apart. Oh, and another thing, the Touring and Elite models, some of the pieces here, other than this top, I'm gonna have to paint this. Some of these parts are painted, the bottom here, this shroud on the back, and this mounting plate. On the Touring and Elite models, they paint them. So I'm going to be putting those on mine because mine aren't painted. And then, like I said, I'm going to be painting this body color. So yeah, let's get started on this. Okay, so the first step is to take this sucker apart. So first you want to remove the actual mirror. So what you want to do is bend it all the way up so you can access the bottom here. There's some clips down here. You can take a screwdriver and kind of pry them off. Let's see if we can do that here. There we go. So I had to take some doing because I released two clips, but it wasn't even moving. Okay. So that's how the inside looks like. See those two wires there? Those are for the heater for the mirror. They already unplugged from the mirror. Okay, there's a set of 4 clips on the mirror right here and pretty much there. See, I kind of bent some open. Alright, so that's out. So now that exposes all of the screws inside there. I'm going to remove all those right now. Okay, so I got this bezel off. It's only held on by 3 screws. There's a screw in here somewhere. So now I believe I can take off the top cap and the light. The light is still screwed onto the top cap. So just gotta find those clips and work them apart. There's one in here that requires you to push it, and there you go. So here's the top cap with the light, and it's got a plug. You can see, just unplug that. And there you go. I'm also going to be disassembling this because I wanted to use the other parts for my mirrors as well, since they're painted. So now I just need to remove the light unit from the top cap, just one screw, and there you go. But yeah, this is the light unit, how it looks. There's the back, and the LEDs are only right here because Honda's a genius at designing this. So next thing to do is remove the lens off of this housing. I just used a heat gun, but you want to be careful when doing that because the lens material is harder than the housing. This will get soft before this will. So you don't want to apply too much heat, otherwise you'll deform the housing here. Just enough to melt the adhesive, and then you can pry it off. And as you can see, I'm doing this in my backyard. So where am I getting power from? Because I'm going to be needing that for my heat gun. Let me show you. It helps to have one of these extension reels. I just have it mounted here on my wall, and as you can see, I have it going all the way to the back here. Very handy. Alright, so let's get heat on this light unit, wherever it went. Where did I put it? I lost it. I found it. Okay, so you just want to apply heat to the outsides here gradually. I'm outside, so you're gonna hear cars and dogs. So yay, video quality. Alright, got the lens off. Kind of fucked it up though. I did warp the end, unfortunately, and this one did break in more spots than the other one. I was a bit more stubborn, but it's off, and I do plan on using silicone, a good amount of it, to reseal it. Here's the inside of the housing. You see there's nothing here. Nothing. Only LEDs here and here, and that's it. But I'm gonna fix that, improve this. First thing I need to do is remove these lights here, and I'm gonna have to cut these wires there. This one has a coating of some kind, so I'm not sure I'll be able to solder on those 2 contacts right there, because that's what I'll be soldering the new light strip on. So let me go ahead and remove these. They're just glued on, so just pry it off with a flat head, like so. There you go. Don't need those. Then I'm going to just cut this here. Okay. So I have that. I believe the bottom is a positive and the top is a negative. I'm going to keep this unit because this is just going to go on here like so. Now if you decide to do this yourself, make sure whatever LED strip you get is mounted on the bottom here. You have this edge right there, make sure it's flush against that and not too high, because the lens, the way it goes on, is the part that's going to show when the mirror's all put together is the bottom part here. So you want to make sure your LEDs are in that general area, because if it's like too high, I mean you'll still see the light, but I want the LEDs to be seen. See, next thing, there's like these little nubs on there for the bottom. I'm gonna have to cut those off so that this can lie flat in there, and I'm just gonna be mounting this on with 3M double-sided tape. Okay, so I got the wires exposed so I can solder them on, and I took the screws off of here so that way I can lie this on there without the screws being in the way. I'm just using double-sided tape to hold this on. Now the reason you want to keep this on is because it also includes the 2 prongs in there, because I still plan on using this connector. So now I just need to figure out how I'm gonna position this and put it all together. Now from the wires here, the light goes this way, or flows this way away from the wires, so make sure you make note of that when you do this, so that way you put it on the right way, otherwise it'll look a bit funky. So I'm just going to drill a hole at the end here, run the wire through the back, drill 2 more holes on the back, and then the 2 wires will come out of here, and I'll solder them on to those points right there. Okay, got my hole drilled here, got the wire going through there. Now this will show through the lens. I plan on using like white electrical tape just to hide it, since this board is white, the housing is white, so I'll use white tape there. Got the wires going through the back, drill 2 more holes there, and put the wires out of there. Now these can be soldered onto the panel. Now remember, the positive is on the bottom, so I got the red wire on the bottom, negative on top. You can see I switched them when I put them through the holes, just so you know. Alright, so I got the light strip mounted, the wire soldered. This is just mounted with double-sided tape. Put everything back together, and then I gotta disassemble the mirror even further and paint the mirror caps. Okay, so I got this all sealed up. I'm just using zip ties to hold it together. I just used let me show you, JB Weld clear all-purpose RTV. So you won't be able to see the silicone because it's clear, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Little change of plans. I do plan on painting the caps here, but not right now, mainly because a lot of things on my desk. I'm going to be using this 2K spray, and it has an activator. Now I can only use it within 48 hours, which is 2 days of activating it. I do have other parts on my van that I want to redo, mainly the splash guards, and I found out the top of the rear spoiler is starting to peel away at the paint, so I'll have to redo that. So that way I won't waste a can. I don't want to waste this just painting the mirrors. So I'll have more parts to paint. This thing is noisy. I'll have more parts to paint, but for now I'm just waiting for the silicone to dry, and once that's all done, I'll be reassembling everything. Okay, so now, because I want to use some of these pieces, I have to take the rest of this mirror apart. So I'm going to remove these black rubber covers that they just put on here for the screw ends here that attach to the van. I'm going to remove this gasket as well. You'll need this. There's the cable. Okay, so down here there's a cover that I need to pop off. If I can. Okay, And there are 3 screws in there. So to take those out. You feel it coming loose already. And this should just come out just like that. Now this connector, you're not going to get it out of there. So you have to get it out from this end. On the motor here, there's a plug right in there. You just unplug it. Just pulls out. And now that itself is small enough to feed through this hole here, which is the main metal shaft there. Just feed all of that in there. And there you go. So this is free. Then you can just pull the harness out through here. There you go. So this is the passenger side. I'm going to be using this, the mounting plate and the cover, but I won't be using this because my passenger side mirror has a camera and this obviously doesn't, so I can't use this housing. I'll just use mine, but everything else I'm going to use. So yeah, that's how you take that apart. And if I were to use this, this is only held on by 1 screw right there. You just unscrew that and then this will just pop right out. So since I'm not going to be painting right now, I'm going to be installing the driver's side mirror. You got it all blown up here. So let's go take my mirror off. So here's my mirror. See how it looks. Now in order to take this off, I have to pull the door panel off, mainly because the harness plug sits around this area. So I'll show you how to do that as well. First step is to remove this. Very easy. Too easy. And as you can see, the harness goes down in here. So the plug, like I said, is somewhere in this area. Okay, so to remove this door, you just need a Phillips and a flathead. First thing you want to do is to pry off this window control unit. Just like that, with a flathead. You just unplug it. Now, when you unplug this one on the driver's side of these vans, you're going to have to reprogram it. I'll put a link in the description of a video that shows you how to program these. It's not too difficult. And there's a little tab down here, and this pulls out of the way and you can unplug that. And this one just has a clip, you can just pull it out. So this is off. Then next is to remove the screws. There are 2 screws in here in the door handle. Just take your flathead and pop off this cover. There's a little clip on the top there. There you go. So you just remove that, and then you remove the 2 screws there. And then there's another screw down in here. So let me get those out right now. Yeah, for a newer car, these panels come off actually quite easily. I would think they would put more like fasteners and whatnot into them, but no, it's actually quite easy. So that screws loose. And then you take your flathead down here. There's a light down here. Let me see if I can tilt this down. There, you can see the light. Stick your flathead around that area in there. You're gonna pry it and pull on this at the same time. So let's see if I can get it. There we go. This is plastic then, so that pops right off. Now for this light, you want to unplug it. So there you go. Then you want to pop the door handle off, the door handle unit, just like that. Lift up, and then feed the door handle through the hole. It turns. It's okay to turn it because it's just connected on cables. There you go. Door panel is out. And as you can see, here's the plug for the mirror. Now I have access to it. So I can unplug that and then take the rest of the mirror off. So you just push down on this clip. There you go. And I'll just pop that out. Then there's 3 10mm bolts here. You just remove that and the mirror will come right out. There you go. Mirror. So now I just need to disassemble this, put the internals into the new mirror, and that'll be it. And that does include the harness. The harness for that one is different because that has turn signals and this doesn't, so I have to use my harness. I'm going to be splicing the turn signal into my existing one with extra wire, and I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, so to remove this mirror from this type of mirror, same thing, you tilt up and you pull up on here, just unclips. You can see in there, you notice it's got a white mounting bracket here, unlike the other one which was like black and round. You just pull up on there, you're going to release it from these 2 clips in there, and then you pull down on this to remove it from the top clips. And there you go. Then you just unplug the mirror heater or defroster from this. Okay, now you got your mirror out. Put that aside. And now it's similar to how I disassembled this mirror. So let's take this apart. Okay, so here's the old mirror blown apart. I have a slight problem though. See this hole? That's where the harness feeds through. I got this big connector that obviously won't go through it. On the other side I got your standard plug which won't go through the other side. Then I got other wires here that I have to trace. I'm seeing them go into the connector there, or it looks like a connector, that gray right there. And there's only 2 wires going to that. Trying to see where the others go, but I might have to cut wires and then splice them back together. That's no big deal for me, but just a heads up, if you plan on doing this yourself with your RL5 Odyssey non-touring. So yeah, just a heads up, you might have to cut some wires. Whew. Alright guys, I got the mirror put back together. All is good. Got the turn signal and the turn signal wires sticking out of here. Alright, so this mirror is on. Folds and everything, folds just fine, both directions. Looks better since it's painted, except for this. Again, that'll be later, but it doesn't look bad being black. It doesn't look bad. What sets it off is the turn signal, but yeah. And the turn signal wires are right here. Purple is positive, pink is negative. I know, it's weird. Now I'm going to be attaching longer wires to here, running them through somewhere down there, and to my turn signal, which is, I have switchback LED turn signal bulbs, but it's right here. This is the main plug, and then this is the rest of my turn signal. I'll see where and how I can splice that and see if it works. Now it might, because I've done this before on, well, older cars, it might alternate when it's being used. You know, when that turns on, this is off, and vice versa. So then I'm fine with that. And another thing, because I had to cut the wires for the mirror function, be sure to test them when it's all put back together. I already did, and it goes up, down, left, right, so I'm good to go. So I'm just gonna splice this wire. I just use my arm span, which is at least 5 feet, so that should be enough. More is better. I'm gonna splice that to those wires and try to feed it somewhere through there. I usually, when I do this, I feed it through the fender in there. It's fine to do that because can't really do much for the interior. It's easier to feed it through the fender. So okay, so I spliced the signal from the mirror into the just my side marker with the hazards on. Take a look. That's pretty cool. It's not bad in the daytime, but yeah, it really sets it apart. Alright, the mirror is spliced in, and as you can see, it comes on when this turn signal turns on, so it's not like alternating. I thought it would be, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this side, other than painting the mirror cap, but that will be later. This is actually the hard part. The painting is the easy part. And here are my switchback corner lights signals. Pretty cool. But yeah, this is really cool. Also, I realized I didn't put in load resistors, and it seems to work just fine. I know it doesn't go all the way here, but it's daytime, so that's fine. It's very different, and that's all that matters. I'm digging it. Okay, so next up is removing this one. Now I'm gonna have to unplug the camera. There is a video on how to recalibrate it. I'll link that in the description as well. But yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to do. Alright, one thing I didn't show you guys is extracting the turn signal harness from here. So now it's this plug, this purple and pink wire plug. There's some tape here, so you just cut through that tape and open it up. Okay, now you want to cut the same wires from the plug. Just like that. Now you should be able to just pull this all the way out. And there you go. You don't need this anymore, so. Now this shares the same ground as the heated mirror, which is this connection. You don't need this, so you just cut that off. And there you go. And this plugs into the light here, just like that. And now I can run this through the mirror as I'm putting it back together. As you can see, it's all apart. Well, it's coming together. Now for this passenger mirror, I had to do something that I didn't want to do, but I did it strategically. I had to make slits on this piece here because there's no way I can fit these plugs through this hole. As you saw on the driver's side one, I cut the wires, but this one has a camera plug. I don't want to have to cut all of these wires, so what I did was I cut some openings here. You can see one there and another one here. I cut it in a spot where I think you won't really see it. And this is the bottom of the mirror anyway, so you shouldn't see it. Well, now I just told you in this video, so you'll see it. But yeah, I cut these slits open so I can fit this harness through there. I did that to the old piece so I can remove it and replace it with this one. But yeah, so just two little cuts there. It shouldn't harm the integrity of the mirror. As you can see, it's mounted by these brackets here. This is just the shell. So alright, so I got this side on. It's a bit darker, as you can see. A lot of cloud cover out of nowhere. But yeah, so looks pretty sick. This is the driver's side again. That's sick. I'm digging that. My switchbacks. Yeah, so other than painting the caps, this is it. I can always remove these and paint them. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of those mirrors. They're pretty cool. Rather than just your standard blinking. Especially those where it's just on the corners. Forget that. I want the whole thing or most of it to work. Anyway, leave comments, ask questions, like this video if you want. Yeah. It looks pretty cool with black mirrors. I don't mind it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.